Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And this story is one of those that you'd file under you couldn't make it up. It's just a bit off the wall, really. It involves a Westminster seat. It's one of the safest seats as far as the SNP are concerned. Now, the MP who's currently in there, he's resigning at the end of this Parliament. And so they've got this seat available, free if you like, and whoever gets nominated by the SNP will be the MP. It's how it really is. Now, the MP in question, the current MP in question, is John McNally, who is the laziest man in the world. Quite literally, he's the man who's made the least contribution to debates or any action or anything like that in Parliament. He really is the laziest MP. Anyway, he's going, and so who do they put in? Well, it turns out Angus Robertson has got a young lad who's been working there as a staffer, like a runner and that. Been working for him for some time now. Anyway, Air Miles has put this lad through and forward for it. And that's all very fine and pleasant, you think. So whoever gets it because they're SNP. They get this seat for gratis. Lovely. The only trouble is that this guy, Michael Sturrock is his name, doesn't want independence. He voted no at the last, at the referendum. So you're going to have an SNP MP in the safest seat in Westminster, and he doesn't want independence. I told you, you couldn't make it up. Let's have a look at the story. So Angus Robertson staffer and no voter aims for the SNP's safest Westminster seat. Michael Sturrock works for the Scottish Government's Constitution Secretary and also voted against independence at the referendum in 2014. I'm surprised he was old enough to vote back in 2014. He looks ever so young. Anyway, an Angus Robertson staffer who also voted in the 2014 voted no in 2014, is bidding to become an SNP candidate for the party's safest Westminster seat. Michael Sturrock has thrown his hat in the ring to replace retiring MP John McNally in Falkirk. Well, you know, I want him to get it. I so want him to get it. Now, I've quoted on several occasions that about 60% of SNP supporters don't want the SNP to have the ability to have a full independence. They don't want a full independent Scotland. They want more rules, more powers perhaps, but they don't want full independence because they know how bad it would be. They like the idea of having, you know, they can run home to mummy, put it that way. They like people to know that they can run home to mummy. But, of course, that's not what the leaders of the SNP want, because they want full control and turn it into basically a private-run criminal organisation, a failed state almost immediately, but they taking millions out on their private jets every week. You know, that's what it would be. Anyway, the incumbent was revealed to be Scotland's laziest MP last year due to a lack of contributions in the House of Commons chamber. He became part of the massive nationalist exodus from London, joining 7 of his colleagues, including Blackford and Mary Black, in declining to stand again at the next general election. Plus, of course, they've lost Angus MacNeil and they've lost Margaret Ferrier. So that's 10 down. Not that they're particularly talented or anything, but, you know, it's still 10 that they have to replace. Anyway, Sturrock works for Air Miles Angus, the Scottish Government's Constitution Secretary, who is a fan of taxpayer-funded trips abroad. He's also a former MP, serving as the SNP Westminster leader before losing his seat to Douglas Ross in 2017. If Sturrock becomes the candidate and keeps the seat, it's understood he would be the party's first elected representative who voted against independence at the 2014 referendum, and this may upset a number of the core nationalist supporters. Well, I think it'd be another division in the SNP, but they must be used to them now. They're divided on every single issue. There is not one single issue in the SNP where they have unanimous support. It's great, isn't it? Anyway, Falkirk is one of the SNP's safest seats, and it is the one they're most unlikely to lose. They hold a majority of nearly 15,000 votes in the constituency, which is the largest of any seat in Scotland. Let's see if we can whittle that down somewhat. A contest to replace Mr McNally is expected to kick off due to his retirement, with 2 senior party members on the council team also in the mix. The deputy leader of Falkirk Council, Paul Garner, and local councillor Gary Booze. It takes a lot of booze to get through that, doesn't it? Mr Sturrock claimed it was Brexit that changed his mind on independence, and he told the Daily Record, at the time of the first independence vote, I was living in France. It seemed to be the most at that time that, as the Better Together campaign said, voting to stay in the UK was the best way to protect European Union membership. Oh, they're trying to find a bit of spin to put it on so that it didn't look like he's a complete, turncoat. Oh, quick, find something. I was living in France. He was there on holiday for a long weekend. That'll be what it is. Being an EU citizen was part of my identity. That's bullshit. You're an EU citizen if you're part of the United Kingdom at the time, but if you voted to be Scottish, you wouldn't be an EU citizen. So, which is why he voted that way. I get it, but, he must have known we were coming out. Anyway, he also said that he changed his opinion due to the plain difference in values and visions between Scotland and past and future likely Westminster governments. He hasn't got a crystal ball. He hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know anything. And you think it's bad being part of the UK. Boy, it's going to be bad when you're outside. He said, in Scotland, there's now a consensus around creating a more socially just way of running society. There's no consensus at all on any subject. So that is also a lie. He says, as a trustee of a health charity, and they always do that, don't they? Oh, I want to get into politics. Oh, I've got to be a trustee here. Got to be a trustee of a school. Got to be a governor of a school. And they do all this sort of thing to show their credentials, rather than their ability to look at important issues and see consequences. That's not important, apparently. It's just, I'm sitting on that and I'm doing that. And look how marvellous I am. Look how virtuous I am. Oh, shit. Anyway, Mr Sturrock works as Mr Robertson's communications chief and was the campaign organiser for his successful bid to become an MSP in 2021. Oh, come on, you could have put a rosette on a donkey and then have voted it in. Although when I look at Angus Robertson, I realise that's exactly what happened. As a final plea to voters, he said, I am a huge supporter of Scottish independence, but like many people in Falkirk and elsewhere, I first needed to be persuaded. Because of my background, I can reach traditional SNP and yes voters, as well as those who shall need to be convinced. No, you can't. You're about 9 years of age. Anyway, Paul Garner replaced Mr McNally on Falkirk Council and now wants to replace him at Westminster as well. Well, when you say that, you mean like turn up and do nothing for your money. Easy, isn't it? Easy money. He said, I believe I'm the candidate best placed to sell the advantages of independence to people across our communities and secure the best possible result at the ballot box. And you notice all of them are all saying there, I'm the best one for independence. I'm the one for independence. Not one of them. Not one of them says, I want to represent the best interests of my constituents and do what's best for the constituency. I want to push for what is good for them, not what is good for me, nor what is good for the party. Not one of them. They're all going, independence, independence, independence. And that, of course, is why there'll never, ever be an independence-led Scottish there'll be an independent-led government, but they'll never have independence because people see through them. These people don't want to do anything for the people. They want it all for themselves. Anyway, Gary Booze said, and it's probably Bouse, I know, but I'm going to say Booze because I find it amusing. Gary Boozy said, I've been encouraged by other people to stand up, hick, and I come with a wealth of experience. Guggle. I'm passionate about what the party does. He does like a party, Mr Booze. And I can make a difference to the people of Falkirk, where my life has been for 35 years, of which I can remember quite a bit. He says, I have a lot of business experience and I'm not a career politician. Oh, well, then you won't mind losing then, will you? Since it's not your career. Falkirk SNP members will select their candidate in the coming weeks and we don't care. Let's hope, though, it is Mr Sturrock, it is the no voter, then he can be eviscerated every week in the chamber and every time he stands up and he'll round to a rousing chorus of no from everyone there because he wanted to remain part of the UK. Deary me. I bet in that picture, if you look down, you can't see, but I bet if you look down, he'd be wearing a wee kilt just to remind people that he's Scottish. So he's got to wear the tartan waistcoat because he sometimes forgets and so he has to look down and, it's what these people are like, isn't it? Deary me. Never mind. Incidentally, that picture's been reversed. How do I know? Look at the finger he's wearing his wedding ring on. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will come up. You know, they take us all for fools, don't they? But we're not fools. We see through them every time. All this, oh, the best for independence, and never mention what's good for the people. People need better than this. The people need to pick someone who actually do a job at representing them and not representing the SNP. So I do hope the good people of Falkirk, whoever the SNP nominate, I do hope that the good people of Falkirk will vote differently this time. And even if they can't get the SNP out, at least send the message by having a very, very much reduced majority. Just to clarify the situation. Make it clear that they won't put up with their crap anymore. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and let's hope that next Thursday and the by-election goes our way. Bye.